You can be in the manifesting state and still not fully trust it. That's the part most people don't expect. Because once you understand how this works, once you've experienced the shift, once you've seen yourself respond differently, you assume trust should come naturally, but it doesn't, at least not right away. And it's not because something is missing, it's because trust doesn't come from understanding. It comes from familiarity. And if the manifesting state is still relatively new for you, then no matter how clear it feels in certain moments, there's still a part of you that hasn't fully settled into it yet. Not consciously, but underneath. You might notice this in small ways. Not obvious doubt, not strong resistance, just a slight hesitation. A quiet sense of, is this actually stable? Even when everything seems fine, or a moment where things are going well, and instead of just continuing forward, there's a subtle pause. Not to check, not to fix anything, just a moment of uncertainty. And that moment can feel confusing because it doesn't match what you think should be happening. You're not reacting like before. You're not overthinking like before. You're not forcing anything. So why isn't the trust fully there? Because your system hasn't fully registered this as your default yet. It's still recognizing it as something new. And anything new, even if it's better, takes time to feel reliable. Think about how trust works in any other area. It's not built from one experience, or even a few. It's built from repetition, from seeing the same pattern hold over and over again, until your system stops questioning it. The same thing applies here. You can experience the manifesting state clearly and still have a layer of uncertainty because it hasn't been your normal for long enough yet. And that uncertainty doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means you're in the transition phase, where the new way of being is present, but not fully familiar. Let me show you what this looks like. You might go through a situation differently than you used to. You stay calm. You respond naturally. You don't feel the need to control anything. And afterward, instead of just moving on, there's a brief moment where you reflect on it, not in a negative way, just noticing. And in that noticing, there's a quiet question underneath it. Is this really how I am now? That question isn't doubt in the traditional sense. It's unfamiliarity. Another way this shows up is when things are going smoothly for a period of time. You feel stable, consistent, not pulled into old patterns, and then out of nowhere, there's a small thought, not even a strong one, just something like, let's see if this lasts. And that thought doesn't come from fear. It comes from not being fully used to this yet. Because in the past, things didn't always hold. So your system is still adjusting to a new pattern. And until that pattern becomes familiar, there can be a gap between experiencing the state and fully trusting it. This is where people sometimes make a mistake. They think, if I don't fully trust this yet, something must be off. So they start trying to fix that feeling, trying to convince themselves, trying to reinforce belief, trying to make the trust stronger. But trust doesn't build that way. It doesn't come from effort. It comes from exposure, from repeatedly experiencing yourself in this new way, without interfering with it, without analyzing it, without trying to confirm it, until eventually your system stops questioning it altogether. Not because you forced it to, but because it's become familiar. So if you notice that the trust isn't fully there yet, that doesn't mean you're not in the manifesting state. It means you haven't lived in it long enough for it to feel normal. And that's a very different thing, because one is a problem, and the other is just a process. And once you see it that way, you stop trying to fix the trust, and you allow it to build on its own, through consistency, through repetition, through simply continuing to be, without needing to confirm that it's working. That's when trust becomes natural. Not because you forced it, but because there's nothing left to question. Subscribe and enter your manifesting state.